How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the 1.9 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, the $1.9 trillion quote unquote virus stimulus package that has passed the House and passed the Senate. Now it's going to go back to the House for reconciliation and any kind of changes, but for the most part, it's set in stone. It'll go to Biden and he'll sign off on it. Okay. And of course he will. He's not going to object at all. He's not going to be trying to actually govern in there. He's like the Queen of England in there, basically. That's why Nancy Pelosi even said it's not open sesame, it's open Biden.
In order to open these doors, we do not say open sesame. We say open Biden.
Because she knows whatever they put in front of him, he'll sign. But that's a different story, and I digress. Here's a question for anybody that's out there, any Democrats, any Joe Biden supporters. Out of that 1.9 trillion, how much will you get? Okay, that's the question. How much will you get? Now, here's a couple of things before we get into the meat and potatoes. They are going to extend the unemployment benefits, but rather than 400 per week, it's been cut down to 300 per week of extra unemployment benefit. Also, stimmy checks. That's a pretty big topic right here, real big one. This is a thing that people were promised that they probably not going to get. All right. Now, what was the whole thing? Okay, 2000. I think Trump was the first one that proposed it, and then it became a big issue in the runoff elections in Georgia. But now the Democrats are saying, hey, you're going to get 1,400, maybe. Okay, that might be the most you get, because they said they already gave you 600 last year, but some people didn't get the 600 at all. It's like, okay, did my check get lost in the mail? Did you try to direct deposit? Did it bounce from my checking account? Like, what happened? Why didn't I get my first stimmy check? To you, I have no answer. I don't know where the check is at. Don't ask me. I don't want to get an email talking about where the stimmy check at. I don't know. Don't call the bank. You might as well call the federal government. Call your local representative. Try to call Joe Biden or somebody. But anyway, so they say you already got the 600. So if you get 14 on top of that, then you're good. It's 2,000 right there, right? So you're not getting a $2,000 check. That's not going to happen. The most you're going to get is 14. And if you got the 600, then great. You get the 2,000. If you did not get the 600, then, oh, well, you pretty much are out back. They also cut the eligibility for the stimmy checks. The previous cap was 100,000 single and 200,000 married. But now it's between 75 and 80 single and between 150 and 160 married. So basically 80 and 160 rather than 100 and 200. So you're going to have way fewer people that actually get the checks than got them originally. If you even got one originally, there's less of a chance if you're getting it right now. And they say that this is going to happen like within the next few days, like probably by the middle of the month, like March 14th, right around then. So you may get a check by the end of this month. And they're telling you to go out there and file your taxes now, like right now today, because your income may have changed in 2020. And I was worried about that. I was like, okay, if they're basing your stimmy check on 2019, you may have made good money in 2019 or just above the limit. Like, let's say, for example, in 2019, you made $80,000, right? Right at the current limit of the stimmies. But in 2020, you had no job at all for the last 9 months of the year. Right after March, right after the virus hit, you got fired from your job, everything shut down, and you've not worked since. You've been trying to get something going, and you've just not really worked since, or your income dramatically dropped off to the point where you're making like $30,000. So if they're basing it on 2019, you would not get a stimmy, although you may need it, right? So they're saying go ahead and do your taxes right now, because that may help you to get your stimmy, because it's based on your previous, on your most recent tax return. And there's a chance that if you file your taxes right now, TurboTax, whatever the case may be, the whole stimulus check system may not pick up on it, but you might as well go ahead and try if you need the money. But I'll move right along. The biggest L from this whole thing, as a cool kid say, the biggest L from this is the minimum wage. You're not getting the minimum wage hike that you thought you might get. The $15 an hour, that's not going to happen at all. So if Joe Biden promised that, I don't know if he did or not. I can't really remember. I think he said that he wants it. I'm not sure if it was a promise, but if he did promise it, that's an L. If he said he wants it, that's also an L, because you're not going to get it. All right. As a matter of fact, there was a vote because there was a vote to include the minimum wage hike as part of the stimulus package. Not really sure how a minimum wage hike made sense in a virus stimulus package because it's supposed to be about people that are unemployed and have suffered job loss. So if you don't have a job, why does it matter if you are getting paid more at your job? You don't have a job at all. So the pay increase will make a difference, but that's a different story. I digress. Anyway, they were trying to get that in there as an amendment to the bill. Okay, higher minimum wage. It failed. And I think the final tally was 58 to 42, which means you had 8 Democrats that voted against it. It was hilarious to see Kristen Sinema out there giving their thumbs down in the Senate chambers with the little dip, the little bop. That was hilarious. You're not going to get the minimum wage hike. And I think people that voted against it have a little bit of sense. Some of them are saying, okay, it should be 10-10. Not sure where you're getting the 10-10 from. Is it like Ren 10-10 or like is a number that sounds cool? Where are you getting these numbers from? Where did 15 come from? Where did 10-10 come from? Where did 725 come from? I'm not really sure where you're getting these numbers, but I think they know this is not going to help. A study from the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan organization, says that raising the minimum wage to 15 an hour by 2025, which is what they were going to do. It wasn't going to be right away. It was going to be incremental. I wonder why, but that's a different story. They said that raising it to that price, to that level, will cause 1.4 million jobs to be lost, and it would increase the deficit by $53 billion. $53 billion over a decade, right? The cumulative budget. So this is obviously not a good thing to do. Independent sources, a lot of Democrats are against it, and 0 Republicans are for the higher minimum wage. Just the same thing as the STEMI bill in general. It was a straight partisan bill talking about, oh, we want to have unity. We don't want to have partisan. We want bipartisanship. I can't tell. I think even some senators that voted for the minimum wage hike did not truly want it. It might have just been a party vote. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the 8 senators. I think my man from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, and Angus King, by the way, the so-called independent, he voted against minimum wage. Kristen Sinema, Tom Carver, Chris Coons. A lot of these guys are like, okay, we see that this is not going to be a good thing. $15, you're going to double the federal minimum wage over it, even if it's not necessarily overnight and it's over a period of 5 years, it's not going to be helpful. The CBO says it's going to cause job loss. It's going to cause an increase in the deficit. Why are you going to do it? So shout out to them. And if you voted for Joe Biden, are you having buyer's remorse or nah? Because if I were you, I'd most certainly have buyer's remorse. Because if I voted for Joe Biden on getting a $2,000 stimmy check, you didn't get that, you're not going to get that. If I voted for him on the minimum wage, going $15 an hour, I'm not getting that. Then we got a serious strike, and we got a rise in gas prices, all kind of. I mean, this is not a very good start to his presidency. And if you think that it is a good start, then you're just being blinded by your partisanship, in my humble opinion. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that the $1.9 trillion bill is a good thing? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or is it a bad thing? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I stand. This is just way too much money. We didn't even spend all the money from the last quote-unquote virus stimulus package. So why are we spending more money now or signing up for more money to spend right now? All we're going to do is just keep MC hammering money, printing money, making it worthless, devaluing the dollar to the point where people were going to say cash is trash much more. All right. There's almost zero inflation with all kind of money supply. All you can do to make up the difference is have hyperinflation. But there's no way you can't make money on your money just by itself. You got to go out and buy. You got to be a bear to go out and buy stuff to have value in your money. That'll cause things to just increase. You see it with the PlayStation 5. As soon as it get listed, they're immediately sold out, and then they're available on the black market for 50% higher price, and people are buying them. That's what's happening right now with our money, in my humble opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe Democrat policies are all right and everything's all good. But if that's the case, they should not be having all these problems in the Senate right now when they have the majority. They got the majority in the Senate, the majority in the House, and the presidency. What's the problem? Maybe their ideas don't really work as well as what you may think on the internet, so on Twitter. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.